Hi everybody, this is Gráinne Thornbury here in the office with Seamus of the IIFA, and welcome back to part 2 of our module on air freight. This particular module now we're going to concentrate on conversions, rounding off, sample shipments, rates, TACT, which is the air cargo tariff. We're going to do some calculations, world air cargo rates and North American rates, and we'll finish up with some additional charges. Now we're going to have a look at conversions, converting volume to weight. So we are going to convert cubic centimetres to 1 kilo, divide that by 6,000. Converting cubic inches to 1 kilo divided by 366. And cubic inches to 1 pound divided by 166. So we'll have a look at a sample conversion. Cubic centimetres to kilos. Example. We multiply 100 by 100 by 125 centimetres. This gives us cubic centimetres. Divide this figure by 6,000 and this equates to 208.33 kilos. We round up by half a kilo, so this becomes 208.5 kilos. Cubic inches to kilos. We multiply 39 inches by 39 inches by 49 inches. This gives us cubic inches. We divide this figure by 366 and this gives us 203.63 kilos. We round this up to the next half kilo and this becomes 204 kilos. And finally we're going to look at the cubic inches to pounds, and we multiply 39 inches by 39 inches by 49 inches, gives us cubic inches. Divide this figure by 166, this gives us 448.97 pounds. And we round this up to the next nearest pound and that gives us 449 pounds. Conversions. When converting weights and measurements, the following are the rules concerning rounding off. Round off kilos to the next half kilo. For example, 3.25 kilos is rounded up to 3.5 kilos. 6.75 kilos is rounded up to 7 kilos. 5.5 kilos stays the same at 5.5 kilos. Round off pounds to the next full pound. For example, 34.6 pounds is rounded up to 35 pounds. 22.3 pounds is rounded up to 23 pounds. And 22.1 pounds is rounded up to 23 pounds. Rounding off. Rounding off dimensions. Round off centimetres by rounding down a fraction less than half, 0.1 to 0.4, to the next lower centimetre, and rounding up a fraction of a half or larger fraction, 0.5 to 0.9, to the next higher centimetre. For example, a piece measuring 150.2 centimetres by 125.5 centimetres by 100.6 centimetres. 150.2 centimetres is rounded down to 150. 125.5 centimetres is rounded up to 126. And 100.6 centimetres is rounded up to 101 centimetres. Rounding off inches, half or larger fraction, half, 5/8, 3/4 or 7/8 of an inch, must be rounded up to the nearest higher whole inch. A smaller fraction, 1/8, 1/4, 3/8 of an inch, need to be rounded down to the next lower inch. For example, a piece measuring 75 and 1/8 of an inch by 65 and 1/2 of an inch by 55 and 3/4 of an inch becomes 75 inches by 66 by 56 inches. Rounding off. Now we're going to look at some examples of rounding off, and we'll have a look here now at the original weight measurement. Now 20.45 kilos is rounded up to 20.5 kilos, up to the next half kilo. 60.75 kilos is rounded up to 61 kilos. 23.85 kilos is rounded up to 24 kilos. 15 and 1/8 of an inch by 14 and 3/8 of an inch by 20.5 inches. Now, the 15 and 1/8 of an inch is rounded down to 15, the 14 and 3/8 of an inch is rounded down to 14, and the 20.5 inch is rounded up to 21 inches. 16.6 centimetres by 12.6 centimetres by 17.2 centimetres The 16.6 centimetres is rounded up to 17 centimetres. The 12.6 centimetres is rounded up to 13 centimetres. And 17.2 centimetres is rounded down to 17 centimetres. Now, I'd just like to say that the thing about handling air freight, an air freight shipment, is that you have to be precise with your measurements and your gross weight. The reason is that the air freight rate is based on a charge per kilo. This can be based on the actual gross weight or the volume weight of the shipment, whichever yields the higher income to the airline. The volume weight is worked out from the dimensions of each individual piece, so therefore it is really crucial to get it right from the start. Now we're going to look at some sample shipments. Now here we have 2 pallets, each weighing 175 kilos gross, and each piece measures 101.2 centimetres by 121.9 centimetres by 101.6 centimetres, your length by breadth by height. Shipment is going from Dublin to Calgary in Canada. Now, step 1, the first thing we have to do is to calculate the actual weight of the shipment. So we know that the weight is 175 kilos multiplied by 2 pallets gives us 350 kilos. If the so-called volume weight turns out to be more than 350 kilos, then that result will be the chargeable weight. If the calculation turns out to be less than 350 kilos, then that 350 kilos is the chargeable weight. The next step now is to calculate the volume of the shipment based on the conversion factor of 6,000 cubic centimetres equates to 1 kilo. So we have 101.2 multiplied by 121.9 multiplied by 101.6 centimetres. Now we have to round off these dimensions and they become 101 centimetres by 122 centimetres by 102 centimetres. Multiplied out becomes 1256844 cubic centimetres. We now multiply by 2 pallets and we get 2513688 cubic centimetres. We now have to convert cubic centimetres to kilo. So we divide by the conversion factor of 6,000 and we get 418.948 kilos. Round this off to next full or half kilo and we get 419 kilos, and this becomes the chargeable weight. The actual gross weight on the shipment is 350 kilos. The volume weight is 419 kilos, so the higher of the two becomes the chargeable weight. It's the calculation which gives the most revenue to the airlines that becomes the chargeable weight. So now just to recap, we have number of pieces, 2 pallets, actual weight 350 kilos, volume weight 419 kilos, so therefore the chargeable weight is 419 kilos. Now we're looking at sample B, slide 1 of 2. We have 3 pallets going from Dublin to Buffalo, New York. Pallet number 1 has 100 by 120 by 80.2 centimetres. That's the length by the breadth by the height, and a gross weight of 150 kilos. Pallet number 2, 100 by 120 by 70.6 centimetres. Gross weight 120 kilos. Pallet number 3, 100 by 120 by 56.7 centimetres. 100 kilos gross weight. The first thing we have to do here now is to calculate the actual gross weight of the shipment, and we do this by adding up the 3 gross weights, and this gives us a total gross weight of 370 kilos. Step 2 now is to calculate the volume weight of the shipment based on the conversion factor of 6,000 cubic centimetres equates to 1 kilo. So we have 1 pallet at 100 by 120 by 80.2 centimetres. Rounded off becomes 100 by 120 by 80 centimetres. Multiplied out gives us 960,000 cubic centimetres. We divide by the conversion factor of 6,000 and this gives us 160 kilos. Pallet number 2, we have 100 by 120 by 70.6 centimetres. Rounded off becomes 100 centimetres by 120 centimetres by 71 centimetres. multiplied out gives us 852,000 cubic centimetres, divided by a conversion factor of 6,000, and we get 142 kilos. Pallet number 3, 100 by 120 by 56.7 centimetres. Rounded off becomes 100 centimetres by 120 centimetres by 57 centimetres. Multiplied out gives us 984,000 cubic centimetres, divided by 6,000, and we get 114 kilos. So by adding up those three weights, we have the total volume weight of the 3 pallets working out at 416 kilos. The actual gross weight is 370 kilos. Therefore, the chargeable weight is the greater of the two, so it's 416 kilos. So just to recap, number of pieces, 3 pallets, actual gross weight, 370 kilos. The volume weight is 416 kilos. Therefore, the chargeable weight is 416 kilos. Now, here are a few chargeable weight examples. What we want to do here is calculate the correct chargeable weight for the following shipments. Now, I'm going to just do one here with you, and I'm going to look at number 3. So what I'm doing is I have my calculator handy. So we have 4 cartons, 40 by 40 by 25 centimetres. So I'm going to multiply 40 by 40 by 25 centimetres multiplied by 4 cartons equals 160,000. Now I want to convert that into kilos, so I divide it by 6,000, and that gives me 26.66. So I round it up to the next half kilo, that gives me 27 kilos. So you can have a go doing the rest yourself, and the answers for these are on appendices page 42. Now we're looking at some world air cargo rates, and this is the TACT, the Air Cargo Tariff, and it's published by IATA, and nowadays most companies go online to get the rates, but for our purposes here today we are just looking at a hard copy just to give you an idea of what the rates look like. Now we're looking at some examples of some rates calculations. We're starting off with 3 boxes with dimensions of 52 by 30 by 28 inches and a gross weight of 360 pounds. Shipment is going to Bordeaux. So the first thing we need to do is to decide here is whether the rate will be based on the volume weight or the actual gross weight of the shipment. So we multiply out the 3 boxes by 52 by 30 by 28 inches and we get 131,040 cubic inches divided by 166. This is the conversion factor of cubic inches to pounds, and we get 789.39 pounds. Rounded up to the next full pound, this becomes 790 pounds. So now we know that the rate is based on the volume weight of the shipment. The next thing we need to do now is to convert the cubic inches to kilos, because the rates are based on a per kilo rate. So we divide 131,040 cubic inches by 366 and we get 358 kilos. So the rate is based on 358 kilos, and if we look to the right, we're using the Lufthansa rate, and we see there is a B, and that stands for a basic rate, and it is €31.74, and K stands for a per kilo rate of €1.23. So the rate is going to be a basic rate of €31.74, and we multiply 358 kilos by €1.23 and we get €440.34. So then we add the basic rate and the per kilo rate together and we get €472.08. So this is the rate we will charge out to the customer. Now we're looking at another example, and we have 5 drums, diameter 15 inches and height 26 inches and a gross weight of 150 pounds, and the shipment is going to Bordeaux. So we multiply out 5 drums by 15 by 15 by 26 inches and we get 29250 cubic inches, and we divide by the conversion factor of 166 and we get £176.21. We now round up to the nearest full pound and it becomes £177. So now we know that the rate is based on the volume. The actual weight is £150 and the volume weight is £177. So we need to convert cubic inches to kilos. So we divide by the conversion factor of 366. So we have 5 drums multiplied by 15 inches, by 15 inches, by 26 inches, and we get 29250 cubic inches. And we divide by the conversion factor of 366 and we get 79.92 kilos. And then round it up to the nearest half kilo, this becomes 80 kilos. So the chargeable weight is 80 kilos. And again, we are working on the Lufthansa rates. So the Lufthansa rate, so going to Bordeaux, the basic rate is €31.74. And we multiply 80 kilos by the per kilo rate of 1.23 and we get €98.40. Add the basic rate and the per kilo rate together and we get €130.14. So that's the rate for the customer. Looking at another example now, this time we have 4 cartons with dimensions of 40 by 40 by 25 centimetres and a gross weight of 18 kilos. Again, this shipment is going to Bordeaux. So we multiply out the 4 cartons and we get 160,000 cubic centimetres. We divide it by 6,000 being the conversion factor from cubic centimetres to kilos and we get 26.66 kilos. Rounded up becomes 27 kilos. So here we can see that the rate, the chargeable rate, is based on the volume and it's 27 kilos. So we look over at the rates and we have a basic rate of €31.74 and we multiply 27 kilos by the per kilo rate of 1.23 and we get €33.21. Add the basic rate and the per kilo rate together and we get €64.95. So this again is the rate we're going to charge to the customer. Now this is an example of the North American rates and these again are the TACT rates, the air cargo tariff, and these are slightly different in that there will be a minimum rate and then there is break points. There's normal up to 45 kilos, up to 100 kilos, up to 300 kilos, and so on. Now we're looking at 3 boxes, 52 by 30 by 28 inches, and a gross weight of 360 pounds. And this shipment is going to Anchorage in the States. So to calculate the volume, we need to multiply 3 boxes by 52 by 30 by 28 inches, and we get 131,040 cubic inches, and we divide by 166 and we get 789.39 pounds. Rounded off, this becomes 790 pounds. So now we know that this rate is based on the volume weight of the shipment, and because the actual gross weight is 360 pounds and the volume weight is 790 pounds. So now we convert cubic inches to kilos and we divide by 366. So we have 131,040 cubic inches, divide by 366 and we get 358 kilos. So this is the weight that we're going to base our rate on. So if we look over here to the right, we see the rates going to Anchorage. We see there is a minimum of €68.44, a normal rate of 8.06, that's up to 45 kilos. There's a breakpoint rate 45 kilos at 6.50, a breakpoint at 100 kilos and it's €6.11, breakpoint 300 kilos and it's €5.60, and a breakpoint 500 kilos and it's €5.16. So the rate we're looking at is we have 358 kilos and we multiply that by €5.60 and we get €2,004.80. So now we need to look at the next higher breakpoint to see if this rate will give a lower cost to the shipper. So the next higher breakpoint is 500 kilos multiplied by €5.16 and we get €2,580. So this is more expensive. it does not give a lower cost to the shipper. So therefore, the rate applicable on this shipment is going to be based on the chargeable weight of 358 kilos, and the rate is €5.60 per kilo. Looking at another example now of 5 drums, diameter 15 inches, height 28 inches, and a gross weight of 150 pounds. Shipment is going to Anchorage in the States. So to work out the volume weight, we multiply 5 drums by 15 inches by 15 inches by 28 inches, and we get 31500 cubic inches. We now divide by 166 to convert to pounds, and we get 189.76 pounds, and rounded up to the next full pound becomes 190 pounds. So now we know that this rate is going to be based on the volume weight of the shipment. So we need to convert the cubic inches into kilos. So we divide 31500 cubic inches by 366, and this gives us 86.07 kilos. And we round up to the next half a kilo, so this gives us 86.5 kilos. This is now the chargeable weight on this shipment. So if we look over to the right at the rates going to Anchorage, we're looking at the break point of 45 kilos, and the next break point is 100 kilos. So the rate we're going to apply is 86.5 kilos multiplied by €6.50, and that gives us €562.25. So now we're going to look at the next highest break point, which is 100 kilos, to see if this will give us a cheaper rate to the customer. So we multiply 100 kilos by €6.11, and this gives us €611. So this is a more expensive option. So in this case, the rate that's going to be applied for this shipment is based on 86.5 kilos, and the rate applicable is €6.50. Now we have another shipment. This time we have 4 cartons, 40 centimetres by 40 centimetres by 25 centimetres, and a gross weight of 18 kilos. The shipment again is going to Anchorage in the States. Now, the actual gross weight on this shipment is 18 kilos, and we are just going to work out now the volume. So we multiply 40 by 40 by 25 centimetres, multiplied by 4 because we have 4 cartons, divided by 6,000 being the conversion factor into kilos. That gives us 26.6 kilos, and we round it off to the nearest half kilo, brings it up to 27 kilos. So the volume weight on this shipment is 27 kilos. So we're going to have a look, we're going to compare, we're going to compare 27 kilos multiplied by 8.06 euro, and that gives us €217.62. And we're going to check the next break point, which is at 45 kilo. So we multiply 45 kilos by 650, and that gives us €292.50. So we can see that this is a more expensive option. So for our customer, we are going to work on the chargeable weight of 27 kilos and charge a rate of €8.06. Here we're looking at some additional charges, and these are charged either by the terminal operator or by the airline. So we have facility service security charges, and this is based on the chargeable weight per kilo 0.005, and a minimum charge applies of €6.50. Warehouse handling charge based on the chargeable weight, and it's a per kilo of 0.10 cent, and the minimum on this is €17. Fuel surcharge, now this is actually based on the actual weight of the shipment. It's a per kilo, €1 per kilo, and no minimum applies. And a war risk insurance, and this is based on the chargeable weight, and it's a per kilo price of €0.15, and there is no minimum applying to this. Now, just to finish off, we're looking at some examples of applying additional charges. So we have a shipment of 4 boxes from Dublin to Buffalo, New York. The actual gross weight on this shipment is 280 kilos. The volume weight is 375 kilos. Therefore, the chargeable weight is 375 kilos. So it's very important to look and see what the gross weight is and what the chargeable weight is, because these rates are based either on the chargeable weight or on the actual weight of the shipment. So the first one here is the facility service stroke security charges, and it's based on the chargeable weight. So it's €0.005 multiplied by 375 kilos, and it gives us an actual charge of €1.88. There is a minimum of 650, so the 650 rate applies. Warehouse handling charge based on the chargeable weight, and it's €0.10 per kilo. So we multiply 0.10 on the chargeable weight of 375 kilos, and we get an actual charge of €37.50. There is a minimum of €17, and the actual charge of €37.50 applies. Fuel surcharge is based on the actual weight, so it's €1 multiplied by 280 kilos, gives us an actual cost of €280. There is no minimum, so €280 applies. And the last one, war risk insurance, is based on the chargeable weight, and it's €0.15 multiplied by 375 kilos, gives us an actual charge of €56.25. There is no minimum rate, so €56.25 applies. We have now concluded our air freight webinar, and thank you all very much for your attention. Please be advised that the slides can be paused at any time, and all slides can be printed from the Moodle website for future reference. If you require any additional clarification or assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me, Gráinne, at the IIFA office.